he moved on?
We'll get together on all that and visit on that more later.
It's no secret that you guys are seeing Kelly Bryant tonight. If things don't work out with Bryant, do you anticipate continuing a search for another quarterback?
Well, I'm not at liberty to discuss, any names, but we know that we've got to have consistency at all positions, and we've got to have competition at all positions, and so every position right now is wide open.
Chad, I know it's not a surprise John Chavis, I guess, activated. The contract, he's going to stay. Just how do you feel about that, and what do you think? What all went into that?
Well, I think, Bob, the main thing with that is, as we look at obviously Coach Chavis and what he's done and the improvements that we've made, we got to continue we got to have more. But continuity. Continuity is so much a part of success, and creating that continuity of the players understand what's asked of them. They understand defensively what we're doing and trying to do. We didn't get to exactly everything that we wanted to this year defensively, and that was understandable. We thought we were going to be able to progress at a rate that would get us there, but we weren't. And so, I think continuity is the biggest thing, getting Coach Chavis back in here.
With just off the season, there's a lot of speculation, a big roster turnover, and one, is there anybody of leaving? And two, how many can leave and not take a big hit with APR?
Yeah, we expect somewhere native signing upwards or getting upwards to 29 new faces in here. But we've had some that have chosen to move on, and we want to wish them the best. And if we can help them in any way, we'll be more than happy to.
Coach, I know you talk about recruiting the state of Arkansas. Is there anything you're going to?
I know you're gonna dig this.
A few things I don't understand in life. Why airlines overbook their flights. I don't understand how Rocky III never got an Academy Award, and I can't for the life of me understand how we are number 6 in the final college football playoff bracket.
This
It's all dope here.
is
Answer me now.
No Way Sports Talk
We need to hire a batter coach up there.
Wow.
from the Fleet Center of Arkansas Studios. Find the right vehicle for the job.
I'm speaking facts.
How about a little decorum in here on a work day?
Filling in for Bo today, here is Bart Pullman.
It's the first true road game for us, and I'm anxious to see how we respond.
I think it's great, have a high-profile team in here, and I'm looking forward to having a good crowd and good energy in here. And this will be the most talented team that we've played against this year. But I think that's great.
Where we go to a place where we don't sleep in our own bed, and we're playing in a different venue. And as a coach, you want to see the game will travel. Will your defense travel? Will your offense have execution? Things we've been working on, will that travel?
They're talented, right? And so they're a team that's playing with a lot of confidence. They've got a lot of tradition, and to come in here, it's a great opportunity. But for us, this will be a completely different style of game, right, than we've played.
How do you handle adversity when it comes? Whether they come out emotionally and hit you in the mouth, you got to be ready to hit back. But I think you got to continue to do the things that have got you in the position you are right now, where you're being successful. We just want to go out and get better.
Boy, if we get into a track meet with these guys, that favors Arkansas.
I think it'll be a good ball game. It's a good test for us.
Arkansas coach Mike Anderson, Colorado State coach Nico Medved there. Hearing from those guys ahead of the game. And Medved said it right there. If we get into a track meet with these guys, we're in trouble. And that's something to watch in tonight's game. Can Arkansas establish its tempo? Can Arkansas enforce its will on the road? I think it's worth watching tonight. I think this game could tell us a lot about what the rest of Arkansas' season is going to be like. You know, young teams typically struggle on the road. Will that be the case tonight, or will Arkansas push through? You know, Colorado State, not a bad team offensively. They're 13th nationally in 2-point percentage. They hit 58% of their shots from inside the arc. Arkansas, of course, though, has been one of the best teams in the country at defending the lane, defending the two this season. Defensively, though, Colorado State's a wreck. They're 291st in effective field goal percentage defense, which is a measure of your 2-point shots and your 3-point shots, giving a little bit extra to your 3-point shots because they're worth more. 280th in 3-point percentage defense, 326th in defensive turnover percentage. So they don't force a lot of turnovers. They don't defend the three. And they don't play a lot of defense, period. They've lost to every top 100 KenPom team they've played to this point, and only one of those games was decided by 2 possessions or less, and that's the 86-80 loss to rival Colorado the last time out. You know, they've got some guys, though. Their leading scorer is Chris Martin. He's a junior. He's averaging 15.7 points in 3 games off the bench after being suspended for the first 5 games of the season. He had 21 points the last time out for the Rams. They've got another guard, Anthony Masonton Bonner. It's a heck of a name, averaging 15 points on the season. Guard J.D. Page also averaging 15 points. So they've got some guys who can score offensively. They just can't stop anybody. And I think what you will see is Arkansas being able to enforce its will a little bit, enforce the tempo. Because when you have a team that score and you have guys who can score and who like to score on the other team, hey, yeah, let's go as fast as we can. We're going to get more shots up. And then you hit the 10-minute mark in the second half and you got nothing left in the tank. We'll see if that's the case for Arkansas tonight at Colorado State, 9 o'clock Central Time on CBS Sports Network. Check your local listings for that one. 9 o'clock, man. Whew. I'm going to be drinking some coffee tonight. I have to stay up late.
You might be just listening to it on the radio. CBS Sports
Network.
Yes. So I have Hulu, Bart.
Yeah.
Will I be able to watch this game?
Yes, you will.
Okay.
Yes, you will.
That's good.
Hulu users have CBS Sports Network. I mean, I'm going to double check that now just to be sure because I also have Hulu.
Most games are on ESPN nowadays, so it's like I always assume. But the CBS games,
I was just like, man, yeah, absolutely, you could watch it because I have Hulu, and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we have CBS Sports Network. We do. So
that's good.
So we will be able to watch the game tonight. So, you know, if you you know, I mean, look, the game's on. It'll be on Cox. It'll be on AT&T, Uverse. It'll be on DirecTV, Dish. I mean, you can find CBS Sports Network, even though it's an unusual place to find an Arkansas basketball game. Carter Blackburn on the call for that game tonight. You know, the bigger conversation with Razorback basketball, to me, continues to be whether or not this season represents the start of a new era for Mike Anderson at Arkansas, a new era for Razorback basketball, whether or not this is the start of something for the Razorbacks. You know, KenPom still has Arkansas going 19-12 overall this year, 9-9 in the SEC. That might be good enough to make the NCAA tournament, by the way. That could very easily be good enough to make the SEC tournament. 500 in the SEC this year is going to be pretty good. But when you look at Mike Anderson and what he's done at Arkansas, one of his major accomplishments has been getting the program back on stable ground and going to the NCAA tournament almost every year. 3 of the past 4 years. There's only been one other program in the league that has done that, and that's Kentucky. In fact, there are only 34 programs. I did some research the other day. There are only 34 programs in the country that have made 3 of the past 4 trips to the Big Dance. And it's even fewer than that when you take out automatic qualifiers from like one bid leagues. So like Buffalo, for example. I can't remember whether or not Buffalo was actually on the list or not. I'm just using them as an example. The MAC is traditionally a one bid league. They've won it 3 of the last 4 years, the league 3 of the last 4 years, so they've been to the NCAA tournament. But just 34 teams, including those guys, that have made the Big Dance 3 of the past 4 years. There are 350 plus D1 college basketball teams. Only 34 have done that. That's impressive. In the last 5 seasons, only Kentucky and Florida have more wins among SEC teams than Arkansas. And the Razorbacks have been to the SEC tournament championship game twice in the past 4 years. And sure, you might be one of those people who's super critical of Mike Anderson and hate the fact that they haven't made it past the first weekend in the NCAA tournament, and I can understand the frustration with that. What I would point to and have pointed to and will continue to point to is when you get to the NCAA tournament, it's a lot about matchups and it's a lot about luck. And what do your matchups look like? And Arkansas has been on the unfortunate end of some matchups in the NCAA tournament in terms of running into some loaded North Carolina teams. But they've also won games. They almost knocked off the eventual national champions a couple years ago in North Carolina, had them dead to rights, and just weren't able to finish that one off. But I would ask you this, South Carolina, take South Carolina and what went on a couple of years ago. They make the Final Four. Would you trade that one Final Four and no other NCAA tournament appearances, period, which is what South Carolina has, for what Arkansas's had over the last 4 years? South Carolina has not made another NCAA tournament. Didn't make one before that run, didn't make one last year. But yeah, they made the Final Four. So would you take that over being in the NCAA tournament consistently? Having a chance to advance, being part of the conversation. So, what more do you want from the Razorback basketball program right now? And look, I know everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win championships. That's part of being a fan. But I think Arkansas has quietly, and I think Mike Anderson has quietly put his program in position to really be in good shape moving forward. Yeah, they're going to lose Daniel Gafford after this year. Barring, I don't know, something just totally Looney Tunes happening and him deciding that he wants to stay for another year. But you don't turn down lottery money. You don't turn down NBA draft lottery money. And so, yeah, you lose a guy in Daniel Gafford, but there just seems to be something about this freshman class at Arkansas right now. There seems to be an it factor with those guys. And yeah, you got to replace Gafford. You got to figure that out. That's a huge loss. But when you bring in a whole group of guys who are part of one class, guys who are talented but who maybe aren't one and done type of players, guys who buy into what you want to do, buy into your system both offensively and defensively. When those guys are juniors and seniors, more often than not, you're in pretty good shape. Just ask Villanova. Now, yeah, Villanova had lottery picks on their team, but not of the one-and-done type. Can Arkansas develop? Can these guys develop into NBA players? I think they have some interesting pieces. I really do. We'll see what happens. But tonight, 9 p.m. against Colorado State, we're going to get a look at how this young team fares on the road. We're coming to you today from the Fleet Center Studios. Fleet Center of Arkansas is your number one source for all your commercial truck needs. Now through December 16th, Fleet Center is hosting a toy drive benefiting Arkansas Children's Hospital. You can bring a toy with a value of $25 and receive $500 toward your down payment. Bring 2 toys to receive $1,000 down payment. Stop by Fleet Center of Arkansas in Rogers off Hudson Road and find the right pre-owned vehicle for the job. For more information, you can call 479-418-6304, and you can browse their inventory online at fleetcenterllc.com.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly, streaming live on sportandstory.com.
Hey there, this is Travis Tollett from Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Williams Tractor in Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas and Rogers. We wanted to show our appreciation by inviting you to our year-end celebration. The end of 2018 is a perfect opportunity to save big. Get 0% financing or choose cash back on current year Boomer and Workmaster compact and utility tractors. Hurry into Williams Tractor in Fayetteville, Williams Tractor in Berryville, and Bobcat in Northwest Arkansas and Rogers now, because the New Holland year-end celebration ends December 31st. And on behalf of all of Williams Tractor, I'd like to wish you a happy holiday season.
Need a vehicle for your business? Fleet Center of Arkansas is your number one source for all your commercial truck needs. Go by Fleet Center of Arkansas to find huge savings on the highest quality vehicles of your choice. Fleet Center of Arkansas is dedicated to providing quality pre-owned vehicles with a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Stop by Fleet Center of Arkansas in Rogers off Hudson Road and find the right vehicle for the job. View inventory online at fleetcenterllc.com.
The holiday season is here, and T-Mobile is the perfect place to find the perfect gift, like the Samsung Galaxy S9. Right now, T-Mobile has some of the season's best deals on the hottest phones, which means there's never been a better time to get the Samsung Galaxy S9. But the holidays aren't going to last forever, and neither are these great deals. So don't miss your chance to get the perfect gift. Check out all the deals at T-Mobile.com or head to a T-Mobile store today.
So you hear that the Powerball and Mega Millions jackpots are a chance to win a ridiculous amount of money, and you want to get in on the action. The Quick Pick option makes getting a ticket simple and fast. Just stop by your Arkansas Scholarship Lottery retail store and ask the cashier for a Quick Pick. Your computer-generated numbers are printed out in seconds, so play your lucky numbers or play it quick. Just play. Either way could be your ticket to more. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly.
It's obviously a very disappointing season. It's nowhere close to our standard. It's not acceptable. We know that. I know that. Our players know that. You know, I will say, as I did last Friday night, that there is growth happening inside this program. We spent the first year establishing the culture of this program, how we do things, what we stand for, and things that we're not going to deviate on. There's not one person in this building that thinks any part of this season is acceptable, and everyone is working tirelessly every day to get this program back. I've told the story to our players. I've told the story to our staff. You've probably heard the story of the Chinese bamboo, to where the growth, you spend days and days and months of watering. You cultivate the soil, you plant, you water, and nothing happens. You get frustrated because you don't see anything happening above the soil, but what you realize is the growth that's happening is underground. And once the sprouts start happening and the growth appears, then you see growth happening from the outside. And growth happens in this program right now in two places. It happens in developing, and it happens in recruiting. Our quarter one began on Monday at 7 a.m. with a team meeting. And we've got to develop the players on our roster. And we've got to give a mandatory off week. They'll be back in with Coach True on Monday. And excited to get back to our quarter one. There is no learning curve. We're not starting over. We're continuing with what we've established. We've got to do some things and continue to develop these players from a year two standpoint. We spent year one trying to get their bodies like we wanted them, and now we've got to continue to build off of that and get stronger and get faster.
You are dialed into Sports Talk. Got something to say? Join the show by calling the T-Mobile listener line at 877-447-4040. Join America's best unlimited network, T-Mobile. Filling in for Bo today, here is Bart Pullman.
How y'all doing? Everybody doing okay?
I'm doing well, Bart.
I know that a lot of Razorback fans are disappointed that Kelly Bryant decided to go to Missouri and not Arkansas. I know that's kind of left a lot of people feeling sour today. So let's liven the mood a little bit. Zach Arns is the executive director of Spirit 52. He's in here with me today. Saw is in here. Saw?
Yep.
Let's play a game.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Guess the Outcome. There is no prize except a pat on the back from yourself. Put your hands together for your host, Saw.
Oh, there we go. Zach, you got to clap.
Sorry.
Appreciate it, guys.
Woo! Go Saw!
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Excited to play this game.
Who are you, Wink Martindale?
With both of y'all. We'll start here. So earlier this week, we actually played this soundbite, and I'm going to play it again. Drew Brees got asked a ridiculous question last week. This was it.
On the sunny side, despite tonight not being the Berries, you have to believe that your Crescent City Buttermen are all set to make a great run at another ice-covered Roscoe, just like the Bulldog boys from Canton Town.
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, so very random. Okay,
so bizarre.
Well, some people did
Who
some.
is this
Yeah,
guy?
yeah. So people did some digging on the internet, and it's apparently like this radio guy out of like Texas somewhere, and he pretends to be a 1920 style reporter.
Notepad,
Okay.
little hat on.
And there's some older
Hey,
clips.
just the facts, man. Just the facts.
Yeah. So there's some older clips where he's asked Bill Belichick and Tom Brady similar questions, and we're going to guess what their responses were.
fantastic.
Okay,
Fantastic.
So
All right.
here is the question that Bill got, and I'm not sure when this happened. It seemed like it was a couple years ago.
James, talk about your Beantown offense in the second half. They treated the boys from Big D like a couple of flapper girls who were a little loopy on the old gin and juice.
So what did Bill Belichick respond to that? Zach, you have a
Yeah, I got it right in front of me. I'm going to go with the...
Oh, okay. Well, let me give you the option.
Okay, go
sorry. I thought you were going to say something. Did Bill Belichick say A, next, or B, he gave no verbal response, just a strange look, C, he said, you need to leave, or D, give me a break, any other questions? How do you think Bill responded?
Zach?
I noticed On to Cincinnati's on.
It's not on
here.
there,
Okay,
no.
so I would go with D. Give me a break.
Give me a break,
Any other
okay.
questions?
I think D as well.
Give me a break. No. You both are wrong. This is how it went down.
James, talk about your Beantown offense in the second half. They treated the boys from Big D like a couple of flapper girls who were a little loopy on the old gin and juice.
Next.
Next.
That's even better.
Okay. Here's what Tom Brady asked a weird question by the same dude.
Jam, talk about the long touchdown pass to Dante Stallworth. It looked like you two were doing the jitterbug while the Dallas secondary was doing the Charleston.
How did Tom Brady respond? A, you serious? B, the Charleston? What? C, I don't know what the hell that means. Or D, can you repeat the question?
I'm going to go with A. You serious?
Okay.
I got to go with D. Can you repeat the question?
Oh, you guys didn't get this one.
Really?
This is how it went down.
Jam, talk about the long touchdown pass to Dante Stallworth. It looked like you two were doing the jitterbug while the Dallas secondary was doing the Charleston.
I don't know what the hell that means, but it was a great route, and it's easy to throw it when he's that wide open. Great question.
You said great question at the end there.
Did he say Tim? Did he call Tom Brady Tim?
Let's listen back.
Jam, talk about the long
Champ.
touchdown pass to Dante.
He always starts with his questions with the champ. So there we go. Sorry you guys didn't do great there.
Wow.
But
those were entertaining. to
very,
say the least.
very. I love it. Okay, we'll move to Brian Kelly next. He was on the college football selection show this past weekend. And, Notre Dame didn't play a championship game. They don't have to play one. And so he was talking, they were kind of talking about that, and he kind of brought up what he was doing over the weekend.
My wife had a ton of things for me to do around the house, so I would have rather been coaching.
What was the one thing you didn't want to do around the house that you ended up doing yesterday?
So what did Brian Kelly have to do around the house for his wife that he didn't want to do?
The same thing I didn't want to do.
Hold on a second. Let me give the options.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I know the answer
Is
to
it
this, and I
A,
didn't see it.
bring down all the Christmas decorations from the attic? B, had to bring all the patio furniture in? C, change all the air filters in the house? Or D, sweep the garage?
Zach?
Same thing I didn't want to do. A, bring down all the Christmas decorations from the attic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with A as well.
I'm with y'all, but that is not what Brian Kelly had to do.
What was the one thing you didn't want to do around the house that you ended up doing yesterday?
I had to bring all the patio furniture in that had 6 inches of snow on it.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not fun.
That does sound pretty miserable. I will give him credit there.
Yeah, so Brian Kelly there. Next, Dabo Swinney on making the college football playoff.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. A, we got pizza. B, celebrated with a Fortnite tournament. C, took the team to play laser tag. Or D, gave everyone a cowboy hat.
I'm going with A, they got pizza.
Okay.
Can I get some clarification? Fortnite's the video game, right?
That's some sort of
Yes, it is.
game,
It is
right?
a video game.
I have not played it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with A, we got pizza.
You guys are both right on this
All
one.
right.
It's a big deal. Now, we got pizza. I mean, we're low budget here, but, pizza still works.
So, yeah, celebrated with some pizza. And last, we're going to go to Jason Witten. He's always saying stuff on Monday Night Football. He was talking about how Philly fans treated him every time he would go to Philadelphia.
Eggs are hitting the bus. You look out the window. There's a 90-year-old grandma, white hair. She's giving you the double birds. Fans are screaming at you, but...
But, A, it didn't bother me. B, these fans love me compared to what's going on Twitter right now. C, I just put my headphones on and smiled like I'm the man. D, the worst was the guy that mooned me.
Zach, take it away.
I got to go with A, it didn't bother me.
I thought about that, but I think I'm going to go with C. I just put my headphones on and smiled like I'm the man, because that sounds
like the old commercial.
Yeah, that just sounds like something stupid that Jason Witten would say. If I'm being honest.
No, you guys didn't get it. This is what he said.
Eggs are hitting the bus. You look out the window. There's a 90-year-old grandma, white hair. She's giving you the double birds. Fans are screaming at you, but these fans love me compared to what's going on in Twitter right now. And Philly fans hate me.
Yeah, he said he actually acknowledged all the hate he gets on Twitter. Yeah, these fans love me compared to what's going on Twitter right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so good for Jason Witten.
Good on Jason.
Yeah, he does get. If you want some entertainment, Monday Night Football.
Gosh.
Go to Twitter and just search Jason Witten. People are just railing on him.
It is so brutal. Oh man.
There you go. You guys got one.
Yeah.
So
it was the same one.
It was the same one. So no
Yikes.
winners this week.
No winners. All whammies. Man.
Hey, we got pizza.
Yeah, we did get pizza.
Celebrated with
Zach, thanks
pizza.
for popping in for
fun.
this.
Have a great one, guys.
I like doing that.
Always a good time. Saul, hey, good job. Round of applause for Saul. Yeah, great job.
Do the jitterbug or the Charleston,
Back after this.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly. Streaming live on sportandstory.com.
You probably haven't thought about how to act like a millionaire, because if you're like me, you aren't one. But the new Ultimate Million Scratch-Off game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, it's going to make 4 people into instant millionaires, which means you need to be ready for important decisions, like how does a millionaire walk? Do I need a new nickname, a secret millionaire handshake, which car to take to work, or should I even show up? Hey, it's time to start thinking like a millionaire, Arkansas, because you could be millionairing soon. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Razorback women's basketball is back inside Bud Walton Arena on Wednesday, November 28th at 7 p.m. for a matchup with Oral Roberts University. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for kids 12 and under. Doors open at 6 p.m., so bring out the family and come have some fun. Get your tickets at the door or call 1-800-982-HOGS or visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com. Stand side by side with the Razorback women's basketball.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly.
In the back, you've talked about just some of the challenges today. Can you go into a little bit more specifically, when you take over a program, just the culture change, what is it that you've had to change, and where have you seen that improvement that we're not seeing from the outside?
Yeah, I think, one, when you take over a program, you come in and you understand. There's 2 ways. You take over a program that when you look at things, and if things have been going right, then it's a little bit different when you open the doors and come in. When there's a change because things haven't been going good, then you come in and you know that there's areas that you have to address as well. So both of those you have to address. But I think the biggest thing, Bo, is relationships, a trust. When you listen to your seniors talk to the team, and Yelda spoke to the team on Friday, and it was our Thursday night, and talk about all the change that's happened in his time since he's been here, the number of coaches and strength staffs and position coaches that have come in and out, and to listen to him talk to the young guys was very powerful. And so you get in here and you try to immediately develop a relationship with your team, plus recruit. But at the end of the day, there's only so much time that you have to develop that relationship with the older guys. And then it turns into learning and growing through adverse times. So once you get into the season, it's, as I mentioned, we would find out a whole lot about ourselves after our first hit of adversity, whether that be that first loss. And then you realize at that point we weren't as close. We hadn't established the relationships as maybe that we wanted and had thought we had. And so you built that, and I thought that during those times that this team grew closer during those tough times, and which is what you would expect. But I think that is one, is establishing that relationship. You couldn't create more time. You couldn't fabricate, building a relationship with guys that have been here, that have gone through a lot of change, takes time, and it takes you can't fake it. And we meet weekly with our seniors and continue to talk and let them have a voice. And the second thing is establishing what we stand for. This is how it's going to be ran. I've been here before. I'm not going to deviate. I've got the blueprint. I've got the vision, and it's worked. It's working at a very high level right now. But we're not going to waver. I'm not going to look the other way, because the issues that as I mentioned, every day counts on the last day. When those days and whatever it may be in August or July or June, and I mean, we've got to look the other way on things that happen. Maybe we're not going out and be as attentive to the details and drill work that we need to have. It's not okay to look the other way. It needs to be addressed, and it needs to be brought up front. And then you got to develop the leadership of the team to where it becomes a player-led team. And that's things that they're all part of year one.
Toward 2019,
where all do you feel like you're going to be better? And on the O-line in particular, how will you get better? You're losing 3 starters there.
Yeah, we've got to, we've got to target.
And now, the Ozark Sportsman Supply Hog Update.
It's an opportunity for us to go and play somewhere we hadn't played. As a coach, hadn't played at Colorado State before, so it's the next opportunity. So I'm sure they'll be looking forward to it. The fans and I'm sure the players even more so.
Arkansas playing in Fort Collins tonight against Colorado State. The Rams 4-4 on the season. Here's CSU head coach Niko Medved.
I think it's great, have a high-profile team in here, and I'm looking forward to having a good crowd and good energy in here. And this has been great. We've been playing a really tough stretch in our schedule, and this will be the most talented team that we've played against this year. I think that's great.
Tip-off at 9 p.m. on the CBS Sports Network. The women advancing to 8-3 with a win over Tennessee Tech Wednesday night. They now travel to Abilene Christian for a game on Saturday. I'm Alyssa Orange for the Pig Trail Nation, and that's your Hog Update.
Filling in for Bo today, here is Bart Bowman.
Thanks, Alyssa. The Hog Update brought to you by Ozark Sportsman Supply in Tawnytown, where they're having their 3rd annual Christmas sale, and the savings and giveaways are huge. Talking Friday, this Friday, December 7th through Sunday, they've got awesome deals. They've got gun safes that are $100 to $500 off, deer stands that are 45% off, deer towers 45% off, and so much more at Ozark Sportsman Supply, Highway 412 West, just outside of Springdale in Tawnytown. We go back to the First Security Bank hotline and welcome in Clay Henry, the publisher of Hogs Illustrated. You heard him in here earlier this week. You'll hear from him in here again tomorrow, but today he is joining us on the First Security Bank hotline. Clay, how are you?
Well, I'm good. Do I sound all right? Because you sound like you're down in a well.
You sound just fine.
Okay. Well,
how do I sound like in a well? Do I sound okay?
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of sometimes when, like, we talked from Hank from Prairie Grove, and he was under the bed.
Oh, okay. Well,
you sound better now.
Okay, good. Clay, before I get things started, I've got to ask, everybody wants to know how the garage is coming along.
Garage is good. About 3/4 of the siding was put on today, so the roof is good. 3/4 of the siding is on. The side door is on. I think the garage door will probably be here first of the week. So
there you go.
Overhead door. The door people have to install that, so that'll be the last. And then the electrician has to do his thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, making progress.
It's gonna be a nice garage. It's going to have a loft, and it'll be a real small loft, so it'd be perfect for Bo.
Well, hey, be sure to keep sending us pictures of the progress. Bo will have a one-word response ready for you, I'm sure.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Nice. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, those are things that Missouri fans are probably saying today, Clay. Not Arkansas fans, though, with Kelly Bryant making the choice to go to Missouri, turning down Arkansas, Auburn, North Carolina, Mississippi State, I think a couple other schools he was looking at. So where does this leave Arkansas now, Clay?
The quarterbacks that they signed last year and the one they signed this year, the three young quarterbacks along with Ty Story. I think that you'll see. Ty Story next year. You might see one of those others too. But I think what you have to focus on is and it's what always happens in recruiting is you think about the guys you didn't get instead of the guys that you did get. And sorry, that's Rue, the lab. In the background. I think she saw a squirrel outside. Wants me to let her loose. So So, but I think that where this team is going to progress the most isn't at quarterback, and I think it's going to be development of the offensive line, development of the wide receivers, especially the 4 wide receivers in the incoming class, 2 4-stars, and 2 3-stars, length at wide receiver and ability to separate. That's what this team needs more in blocking, and it's and I think that's still the key. Even if you'd gotten Kelly Bryant, it's what if you can get open and you can provide some time. I don't think Kelly Bryant was what this team needs the most. This team, what it needs the most is linemen and speed and separating ability at wide receiver.
Yeah, Clay, you mentioned one position there at wide receiver where I think Arkansas might be able to take a significant step forward next year. Are there any other areas where you think they'll be better in a hurry?
Well, I don't know about a hurry. I know that defensively they're bringing in a really good class, and it's speed in all areas. And I think team speed will take a big jump in special teams because of the youth that you can play on special teams. They generally can help you there. I think in terms of offensive line, it still has to work out as far as the junior college players that they're after. And if you watch Oklahoma play in the college football playoffs, you're going to see a true redshirt freshman playing at center, and you're also going to see a junior college player playing at guard that really solidified their offensive line this year. It's a second-year junior college player, but still, transfers and new players sometimes can help in the offensive line where you might be surprised, especially if you get 2 junior college players and a couple of other of these freshmen that are going to enroll at midterm. I think you'll see depth and competition in the offensive line that just didn't exist this past year, and I think that's where you might see a jump. I know we watch quarterback and we talk an awful lot about quarterback, but if you're weak or substandard or lack depth in the offensive line, then it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. You're going to struggle.
Yeah, and that's something, Clay, that Chat Morris talked about repeatedly, especially down the stretch of the season and again in his postseason news conference about how a lot of times they didn't even have 10 healthy offensive linemen that they could practice with.
Yeah, you're right, Bart. And I think that it was maybe the 3rd or 4th practice in camp, and you looked out there and there were 8 scholarship offensive linemen, and one of those is I guess 2 of the starters, Johnny Gibson, Ty Clary, that finished the year as starters were former walk-ons. And so you think about Gilda Froholt and Austin Capps that were playing in the offensive line at the very end of the season. In fact, they were the guys that played the second half, one at center and one at left guard. And they're both guys that were moved over from the defensive line, and so that speaks to just the depth and the ability to bring in offensive line. I think they're going to have 6 new offensive linemen in this class, and as many as 8 or 9 defensive linemen. And some of those defensive linemen might convert to the offensive line. And you're talking about an addition of speed and athletic ability that on that side of the ball. Defensive players that might move to offense, and so I think you'll see depth. I counted 20 offensive linemen in Oklahoma's travel squad. In that, I'm just looking at where Arkansas can get better, and we like to talk about Kyler Murray and other quarterbacks that are difference makers, but it really is it starts with the blocking up front and the ability to get off blocks in the offensive and defensive line, and I think that's where Arkansas can improve the most. And and that will be where I'm watching in when we start spring football. And really, it's not that far off. I think February 26th is the start. It's all going to happen in February and March, just about. So that's early for probably as early as I can ever remember a spring practice in Arkansas. And Barty can't get started quick enough for me.
Well, especially we're visiting with Clay Henry here on the First Security Bank hotline, especially when you consider that they didn't make a bowl game for the second straight year. I'm talking about the program as a whole. When you add it all up, that's a lot of practice opportunities that this program has missed the past 2 years now that they could really use. Yeah, no question that's true, and you can't minimize that, and it's but by the same token, it's time recruiting that they're spending, and also you can get a jump in the weight room. One of the aspects that I think is really good for this football team is Connor Nolan will get an early spring football practice and then move on to baseball. And you were worried about the heart of the baseball season is April and May, and you've got a quarterback that's also a pitcher. So how's that going to work? Well, I think it's probably going to work pretty good for him. So that's the good news with an early spring practice for Connor Nolan, and to get him on in to get through with the football and on to baseball. Clay, great stuff, man. Look forward to seeing you in here tomorrow. Keep watch on that garage and go let the dog out. Yeah, the dog is at the door. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's great. We'll see you tomorrow, Clay. Thanks, man. You're welcome. Thank you. Clay Henry with us on the First Security Bank hotline. Love Clay, man. Love that stuff. Love it. You can help make Arkansas a bit brighter for the nearly 4,500 Arkansas children in foster care from now through December 15th. Restore Hope Arkansas and Red Door Tables invites you to drop off a monetary gift card, or new unwrapped toy at any First Security banking location. Donations will be distributed to local children through partner agencies of the Arkansas Division of Children and Family Services. Let's help make Christmas a magical time for all the children of Arkansas. I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize. In college football, when you get a bowl game, you get extra bowl practices. If you don't make a bowl game, you do not get those practices. And so now for 2 straight years, Arkansas's program has not gotten those practices. And a lot of developmental work gets done during those practices. So how far does that set you back? So when Clay says spring football can't get here soon enough for Arkansas, it's true. I bet those coaches are itching to get back out on the field with their guys and get back to work. But they got to wait till February. February 26th, Arkansas spring practice. 877-447-4040 is the T-Mobile listener line. More to come on Sports Talk.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly. Streaming live on sportandstory.com.
Are you in the market for a new pool or spa? Seaside Pools and Spas has been constructing quality pools in the 4-state area since 1967. It's your one-stop shop for chemicals, equipment, spas, and in-ground pools. With a service department like no other, Seaside Pools and Spas can also help you with all your pool or spa repair needs. Visit Seaside Pools and Spas today in Springdale, Bentonville, and Joplin, Missouri. Seaside Pools and Spas.
The holiday season is here, and T-Mobile is the perfect place to find the perfect gift, like the Samsung Galaxy S9. Right now, T-Mobile has some of the season's best deals on the hottest phones, which means there's never been a better time to get the Samsung Galaxy S9. But the holidays aren't going to last forever, and neither are these great deals. So don't miss your chance to get the perfect gift. Check out all the deals at T-Mobile.com or head to a T-Mobile store today.
You can love where you live and play at an apartment community managed by Lindsay Management Company Incorporated. Affordable apartments with awesome amenities, including clubhouses, fitness centers, pools, tennis courts, and sparkling lakes with fountains at select locations. Many locations also provide business centers, game rooms, tanning beds, whirlpools, saunas, and resort-style pools. You can view rates, photos, and apply online today at lindsaymanagement.com.
Life is better with football. And with First Security, we have the know-how to tackle your needs, plus a local team you can count on. What's your better? Get there with us. First Security. Bank better. FSbank.com, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
What's your more? Maybe it's a bigger garage for that 67 Fastback of your dreams. And your own racetrack for you and your buddies. Whatever you'd like more of, Powerball from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery can turn those dreams into reality. And the next drawing is for more than $190 million. So go to your local lottery retailer and get your ticket to more today. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly.
It's obviously a very disappointing season. It's nowhere close to our standard. It's not acceptable. We know that. I know that. Our players know that. You know, I will say, as I did last Friday night, that there is growth happening inside this program. We spent the first year establishing the culture of this program, how we do things, what we stand for, and things that we're not going to deviate on. There's not one person in this building that thinks any part of this season is acceptable. And everyone is working tirelessly every day to get this program back. I've told the story to our players. I've told the story to our staff. You've probably heard the story of the Chinese bamboo, to where the growth, you spend days and days and months of watering. You cultivate the soil, you plant, you water, and nothing happens. You get frustrated because you don't see anything happening above the soil, but what you realize is the growth that's happening is underground. And once the sprouts start happening and the growth appears, then you see growth happening from the outside. And growth happens in this program right now in two places. It happens in developing, and it happens in recruiting. Our quarter one began on Monday at 7 a.m. with a team meeting, and we've got to develop the players on our roster. We've got to give a mandatory off week. They'll be back in with Coach True on Monday.
You are dialed into Sports Talk. Got something to say? Join the show by calling the T-Mobile listener line at 877-447-4040. Join America's best unlimited network, T-Mobile. Filling in for Bo today, here is Bart Pullman.
Just had a little internal debate here. Saul and I versus the interns.
Younger generation, I guess.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And this is a scorching hot take. I mean, it might cause you to lose your mind. But Saul and I are in agreement on this.
Yes, very much so.
We're talking about Christmas movies. 'Tis the season, after all. Elf is overrated. That was me dropping the mic.
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
A little smack of the mic.
Yeah. Elf is overrated. Christmas Vacation is my favorite Christmas movie.
Yes.
And one of my favorite movies, period. And I'm very excited that we're now in the season where it's acceptable to watch that all the time, as opposed to, it just kind of being weird when I'm watching it in May.
You just need to have it on loop in your place, Bart. Like, going throughout the season is just, so you catch it at different parts, you see different parts, you quote it.
But, yeah, Elf, overrated. Just my take. Just my take. Don't at me. Just my take. Speaking of takes, I've been waiting to get to this all day. I don't know if you saw this, but PETA, the organization the people for the ethical treatment of animals, easy for you to say, tweeted last night that they wanted people to stop using anti-animal language because I guess they're afraid that animals were getting their feelings hurt by, things that they couldn't understand. I don't know.
You got to give me some examples here, Bart.
So they put out a chart with examples.
Okay.
So like instead of saying one thing, you should say this. So instead of saying kill two birds with one stone, right? You're knocking out two things at the same time, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kill two birds with one stone. They would like you to say feed two birds with one scone.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Instead of
that's a lot easier to do than killing two birds with one stone.
Well,
I don't think it sends the same message.
Instead of saying beat a dead horse, feed a fed horse, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
What the?
My personal favorite though, bring home the bacon. You know that expression?
Yeah.
Bring home the bagels. I got news for you. If somebody tells me they're bringing home the bagels, I'm expecting breakfast. I'm hungry.
You are listening to Sports Talk, produced by Bart Pullman, directed by Sire Radler. Want the latest commentary, interviews, takes, and phone calls?
Anytime, anywhere.
Check out Sports Talk Primetime, Arkansas's premier sports talk podcast. Find it on iTunes or online at sportsandstory.com.
Life is better with basketball and with First Security. We have the know-how to assist with your needs, plus a local team you could count on. What's your better? Get there with us. First Security. Bank better. FSBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You probably haven't thought about how to act like a millionaire, because if you're like me, you aren't one. But the new Ultimate Million Scratch-Off game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, it's going to make 4 people into instant millionaires, which means you need to be ready for important decisions. Like, how does a millionaire walk? Do I need a new nickname, a secret millionaire handshake? Which car to take to work? Or should I even show up? Hey, it's time to start thinking like a millionaire, Arkansas, because you could be millionairing soon. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
The holiday season is here, and T-Mobile is the perfect place to find the perfect gift, like the Samsung Galaxy S9. Right now, T-Mobile has some of the season's best deals on the hottest phones, which means there's never been a better time to get the Samsung Galaxy S9. But the holidays aren't going to last forever, and neither are these great deals. So don't miss your chance to get the perfect gift. Check out all the deals at T-Mobile.com or head to a T-Mobile store today.
Lindsay Golf Courses range from 27-hole championship to 9-hole par 3s and are making a presence in affordable country club memberships for both individuals and families. Our challenging courses and extensive amenities are designed to attract golfers of all ability levels and offer recreational and social opportunities for members. Lindsay 18-hole championship golf courses can be found in Northwest Arkansas, Paradise Valley Athletic Club in Fayetteville, and in Rogers at Lost Springs Golf and Athletic Club. Or you can visit lindsaymanagement.com for a complete list of Lindsay golf courses.
Life is better with football and with First Security. We have the know-how to tackle your needs, plus a local team you can count on. What's your better? Get there with us. First Security. Bank better. FSBank.com, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Sports Talk with Bo Mattingly.
There is no learning curve. We're not starting over. We're continuing with what we've established. We've got to do some things and continue to develop these players from a year 2 standpoint. We spent year 1 trying to get their bodies like we wanted them, and now we've got to continue to build off of that and get stronger and get faster. We know them. They know us. They know what to expect in that weight room. And I expect to see huge gains as there's high expectations this offseason. The second part of the growth is recruiting. And we've got to recruit players to come in here and make a major impact the day they step on campus. And we're doing that. We're doing that at a very high level right now. We got coaches that are out on the road as we speak. They're in schools right now. They'll be in high school games all over the country, Friday and Saturday. There is no days off as our coaches are out on the road right now recruiting. I'm leaving immediately after our press conference to get on the road. I was in home visits on Sunday night. I'll do 8 home visits this week. And Sunday was our first day out, but it's going extremely well. And we got to get this class to the finish line. But we expect up to 12 mid-years to join us in January and come in and create an immediate impact and compete this spring and create some competition. And so with that, I'll open up for questions.
Chad, I know it's not a surprise John Chavis, I guess, activated. The contract, he's going to stay. Just how do you feel?
Coach, tempo-wise, I know you weren't where you wanted to be. What went into that, and then where do you expect to maybe get with another off-season in spring?
Well, we came out in the spring and trying to run at a very fast pace, and thought we did that. Tried to establish the foundation for doing that. As you got into the season and you realized, where your strengths were, where your deficiencies were. You had to, at that point, adjust and adapt. And we didn't go nearly as fast as we want to go, play it near the tempo that we want to play at. But we'll continue. We're not going to change who we are. We're going to continue to work that. We do that in practice, but we'll continue as we get into spring ball to again knowing our roster, knowing them. They know us. They know what to expect. The learning curve there of just getting to know what we have and what we have coming back and what's coming in will help dictate a lot of moving forward how we're going to grow that.
Follow-up to Callaway. Is his door still open for him to come back, or has he moved on?
We'll get together on all that and visit on that more later.
It's no secret that you guys are seeing Kelly Bryant tonight. If things don't work out with Bryant, do you anticipate continuing a search for another quarterback?
Well, I'm not at liberty to discuss, any names, but we know that we've got to have consistency at all positions, and we've got to have.
Sports Talk.
Cutting it up.
Like this. Hit
it. You have this old coach's locker room, and you open it. I had no idea where coach's locker was, where the light switch was. So I'm open. You have a little bit of light, and you walk in there, and at the time they had these couches that didn't have a back, but they were low like this. So I'm walking in there, trip, fall down, and needless to say, that's where Coach Broyles went to take naps every day after his walk. So I land right on Coach Broyles. He gets up panicked. I'm panicked. I have no idea where everything is. It's like, son, do you not know where the light switch is? I was like, Coach, man, I'm so sorry. I have no idea. So from that point on, I was light switch boy to Coach Broyles.
Sports Talk's Drive at 5 is presented by Heartland Honda, your locally owned Honda Power Sports dealer. Work hard, play hard.
We're fixing to put it in the left lane and put the hammer down.
Buckle your seatbelt. Remember that. Buckle your seatbelt. We're going somewhere.
Filling in for Bo today, here is Bart Pullman.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome into the Drive at 5. Not a great evening for Razorback fans yesterday, as Kelly Bryant made his choice and chose Missouri over the Razorbacks. Huh? I'm still a little confused by that. Not by the fact that Kelly Bryant didn't choose Arkansas, but by the fact that he did choose Missouri. You just kind of feel like that's maybe not the best situation, or maybe that doesn't give him the best chance to shine. I don't know. Maybe it does. Drew Luck's had a lot of success there. But signing up to play for Derek Dooley is an interesting proposition, I think. I wasn't convinced that Kelly Bryant was going to pick Arkansas, considering the other options that were out there and considering the Razorbacks' current deficiencies. But Missouri, like, what makes Missouri attractive? Columbia, Missouri. I mean, have you been there? Saul, have you been to Columbia?
I have not, Bart, no.
I have.
Yeah.
And it's just so blah. Like, it's just so meh. It's just like, why am I here again? What's the purpose of me being here? So just from a lifestyle standpoint, I also don't understand Kelly Bryant's decision. It's his last year, right, in college. It's like, hey, maybe go somewhere where you can have a good time too, even if the football's not going well. So it's a little hard to understand the decision. And I'm sure we'll find out more in the coming days as far as why Kelly Bryant decided to go to Missouri. He did put out a video, an announcement video. I'm not going to play it for you because it sounds sullen and downtrodden and not like something that would play well on the radio. So we're not going to listen to that. But I'm curious how you're reacting to the Kelly Bryant news today. Are you, okay with the decision? Are you frustrated? Are you upset? Where does this leave Arkansas? And does this maybe, just maybe, nudge the Arkansas-Missouri rivalry along a little bit? Jonathan Nance, former Razorback, also committing to Missouri last night as a grad transfer wide receiver. But the real story coming out of this, I think, is what Arkansas's situation at quarterback looks like right now. And by the way, you can get in here if you want. 877-447-4040 is the T-Mobile listener line. But what does Arkansas look like at quarterback? Cole Kelly transferred or announced that he is transferring. Kelly Bryant deciding to go to Missouri. So you've got Ty Story. You've got Connor Nolan. You've got John Stephen Jones. And you've got incoming freshman 4-star KJ Jefferson. Now, if we're being honest and we're evaluating the quarterbacks, it's probably a three-way battle between Story, Nolan, and Jefferson. If Jefferson comes in and he's ready to compete right away. But they've got to figure quarterback out. One of those guys, and sure, throw John Stephen Jones in there. One of those guys has to be better than what they had at quarterback this year. That is critical. Now, yeah, the offensive line has to be better. Everybody knows that. The offensive line was bad. It's got to be a lot better. And it's hard to play quarterback behind an offensive line that is suspect at best. But they have to make strides along the offense, or at quarterback, along the offensive line too. To put it bluntly, Ty Story wasn't good enough this year. I don't know any other way to say it. That's just, those are the facts. When Arkansas did have receivers open and Ty Story did have time to throw the ball to the receivers, the connection wasn't there. And look, Arkansas needs help across the board, but you got to be better at quarterback. So whether it's an improved Ty Story, whether it's an emerging Connor Nolan, or whether KJ Jefferson just comes in and blows everybody's socks off, they've got to be better at quarterback next year. It is critical to what Chad Morris wants to do on offense, that they have somebody at quarterback who can run the offense. And they didn't have that this year. So that's kind of what my attention turns to coming out of the Kelly Bryant news, that he has chosen to go to Missouri over Arkansas. and we're going to continue to talk about that, and we're going to talk about this Razorback basketball game coming up late tonight, 9 p.m. tip-off. But I want to take some calls, the T-Mobile listener line, 877-447-4040. Patrick is in Bella Vista. Patrick, welcome in.
How you doing, Bart?
Doing great, thanks.
I think Ty Story, if he had some time, he might have done better this year, but he just didn't have time. He was just picking himself up off the ground all the time.
There's definitely some truth to that, but I also saw a guy who, missed a lot of throws this year too.
Well, I think he got gun shy there because he didn't have no protection.
Maybe so. Maybe so. I think that Arkansas's future at quarterback probably lies with Connor Noland or KJ Jefferson. But they've got to show, Noland has to show a lot of improvement, and KJ Jefferson has to show a lot coming in. Otherwise, I think it will be Ty Story again, because he does have at least experience.
You think Connor Noland needs to bulk up a little bit more?
It depends on how many times he's going to take a hit, right?
Yeah.
So, if it depending on how many hits he's going to take, yes or no.
Yeah. Well, I think if the line would get improved, I think it would. It's like Clay said, it doesn't matter who you got at quarterback. If you ain't got time to throw, you ain't going to have nothing.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of truth to that, Patrick. There's no doubt about it. Hey, thanks for the call, man. 877-447-4040, the T-Mobile listener line, if you would like to weigh in. The Arkansas basketball team is in Fort Collins, Colorado, where the Arkansas football team lost earlier this year. This is the first true road game for the Razorback basketball team.
Looking at their team, I think they want to play anywhere from medium to up tempo. I think they push the basketball. They got perimeter guys that can really knock the shots down. They got a big guy that was there last year that played for them, and this coach encouraged them to get the ball up the floor and get into early offense and attack the glass. Have some pretty good athletes on that basketball team, so I think it'll be a good ball game. It's a good test for us.
Colorado State, a team that has had some success this year offensively. You look at their offensive numbers, and there's stuff to like. They got 3 players averaging 15-plus points a game on the season. They're 13th nationally in two-point percentage, 58% shooting inside the arc. They've got different guys they can throw at you. They're not a very big team, but Nico Carvacho is their junior center. He's averaging a double-double this year. So they do have him. Outside of him, not a ton, but they've got him, and, we'll see how Daniel Gafford handles that tonight. Defensively is where Colorado State really struggles, though. They can't stop anybody from scoring. They can't stop anybody from scoring any way they want to. They don't force turnovers. They don't defend. And that's not a great recipe when you're facing Arkansas. Now, here's the deal. It's not easy to go on the road and win in college basketball. It's not easy to go on the road and win when you have a bunch of freshmen. But what helps win games on the road is defense. And what this Arkansas team continues to do from a defensive standpoint has been really impressive to me, especially considering how young they are. But you have a group of guys, a group of young players who've bought into what Mike Anderson wants to do on defense, have bought into the style he wants to play on defense, and they're giving maximum effort. And that's been making a difference. And when you look at what Arkansas has done defensively this year, you're talking about a team that is 11th nationally in defensive effective field goal percentage, 22nd nationally in turnover percentage, meaning they're forcing a lot of turnovers, 18th nationally in three-point percentage defense, only allowing teams to shoot 27% from behind the arc. 40th in 2-point percentage defense. 41st in steal percentage. And 5th in block percentage. That's really good. Those are really good numbers. Now, will they hold up over the course of the season? I don't know. But the early indications and the early returns are that these guys get after it defensively. More so than any team Mike Anderson has had at Arkansas. And when you look at those numbers, again, it's early in the year, so it's hard to compare to season totals. But when you look at those defensive numbers, they match up to the defensive profiles of Mike Anderson's really good teams at Missouri. And at UAB for that. His best teams played really good defense. And he hasn't really had that at Arkansas to this point. 877-447-4040, the T-Mobile listener line. Joel is in Paris. Joel, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you guys got a good we got a good quarterback. Our problem is if you'd have a good quarterback if you got you an offensive line. A guy can't throw the ball when he's getting knocked flat of his back every play. We need the offensive line is what we need.
Well, I think obviously Arkansas's offensive line was deficient this year, but I don't think you can put everything that the quarterback did or didn't do on the offensive line. There were times when the offensive line, and thanks for the call, by the way, Joel, buckle up, click it or ticket. Be sure to buckle up there. There were times in games where the offensive line played well, or at least well for them, better than you saw at other times in the year. And even in those times, Arkansas wasn't getting enough plays out of the quarterback position. So I don't think it's fair to put every single thing on the offensive line. When they do give you time, you got to be able to make plays. And too many times, Arkansas wasn't able to do that this year. Shane is in Pea Ridge. Shane, welcome to Sports Talk.
So, hey, I just think with Ty, I think he'll be a lot better next year than what he was this year. I mean, the whole team improved as the season went on, except for when they fell apart at the end. I mean, they did what they needed to do. The receivers are going to help. The tight ends that are coming in are going to help. I just think it's no reason to, since Kelly Bryant didn't come here, for a lot of people to throw in the towel for next season.
Well, yeah, there's certainly no reason for that.
No. And like with the basketball team, I think they're going to do just fine this year. I mean, Anderson has them, like you said, they bought in, which it seems like the football team only bought in for a few games. But I think Anderson's going to have it going this year, and hopefully Gafford, if they make a deep run into the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, I don't see why Gafford wouldn't come back for one more year, just try to get a ring.
Yeah, well, maybe you will, Shane. I think that the draft money, again, thanks for the call. I think the draft money, and if he is projected as a lottery pick, and all indications are he's trending in that direction, if that ends up being the case, it's hard to turn down that money. It's hard to turn down that contract. So we'll see. The expectation is that Daniel Gafford will not be at Arkansas next year, that he'll be in the NBA. It's something to keep an eye on. What to watch tonight on TV, brought to you by Foghorns. Arkansas, Colorado State, of course, 9 p.m., CBS Sports Network. If you're looking for an appetizer, there's a great NBA game tonight. 76ers at Raptors. That's at 7 on ESPN. Foghorns, just in time for the holidays, you can get a $25 Foghorns gift card at any of their 5 Northwest Arkansas locations. And you get $5 in bonus bucks. A $50 gift card earns 15 bonus bucks at Foghorns. You can visit them for a different daily special Sunday through Thursday, and for their giveaways on Football Thursday and Sunday. Foghorns.
Sports Talk's Drive at 5 is presented by Heartland Honda, your locally owned Honda Power Sports dealer. Work hard,